One night, around 3 a.m., I was on the third floor finishing up when I pressed the button for the elevator. The doors opened, and the elevator was empty. As I stepped in, I noticed something weird. All the buttons were already lit up, as if someone had pressed every floor. The doors closed before I could do anything. It went to the fourth floor, no one there. Then the second, no one there. Then it stopped on the basement. The lights flickered. I'm not kidding. When the doors opened, the entire hallway down there was pitch black, except for a small red emergency light. I didn't even step out. I just hit the close door button like 5 times. I reported the issue, and a manager told me, "That elevator's been glitching ever since someone got crushed down there in '09. We usually just take the stairs after midnight." After that night, so did I. I worked maintenance in a meat processing plant for about 3 years. One of my regular duties was checking the pressure gauges in the boiler room, which was located in a weird underground hallway no one liked going into. One night, I went down there and saw the boiler room door slightly cracked open. That was odd, because it locks shut automatically when closed. I pushed it open, stepped in, and everything looked normal, except the thermometer gauge was spinning. Not up or down, just spinning. Then, from behind the boiler, I heard a voice, raspy, low, and barely above a whisper. It said, "He's not done fixing me." I froze. There was no one on the schedule besides me. I backed out and called security. They swept the room. Nothing. I didn't even bother explaining what I heard. I later found out an old maintenance guy died in there in the early 2000s. He got locked in during a steam leak. They say sometimes you can hear him still talking to the machines. I believe it. I worked night security at a plastics factory. My job was mostly just watching the cameras, walking the perimeter, the usual boring stuff. One night, around 2:30 a.m., I saw someone walk across camera 6. It was a woman in a hospital gown, barefoot. I called it in, thinking maybe someone from the nearby care center had wandered onto the property. I went out to check, but no one was there. I went back, rewound the footage. There she was, walking slowly across the frame. Except, she didn't trip the motion sensor. No heat signature either. I saved the footage. The next morning, my supervisor told me not to mention it to anyone, and the clip? It was gone, completely erased from the system. He later admitted, off the record, "You're not the first one to see her. She's always on camera 6. After that, I asked to be moved to the day shift. This one happened when I was working in a shipping warehouse in Texas. We had a locker room in the back for personal belongings. One night, after shift, I came back to grab my bag and noticed someone else's locker had swung open. I didn't think much of it until I saw that it was Dan's locker. Dan had died in an accident 2 weeks earlier. I walked over and tried to close it, but it slammed shut before I even touched it. There was no draft, no one else around. Later that week, another guy said he heard someone crying in the locker room, but when he went in, it was empty. The company ended up removing Dan's locker completely, but for a while, people would still avoid that end of the room, even though it was empty. Some of us still believe he never really clocked out. Factories are supposed to be places of order, repetition, and routine. But sometimes, something breaks that rhythm. And when it does, it leaves behind stories like these. If you've ever had something strange happen on the job, especially during the night shift, you're not alone. Subscribe for more true horror. And don't forget, never ignore the small, strange things. They're usually warnings.